Join me as I dive into the wild world of time slips and see if I can actually experience one in real life. Time slips. The idea that we can somehow slip into a different point in time, experiencing events that have already occurred or haven't occurred yet. It's a concept that has fascinated people for decades, and it's not hard to see why. The thought of being able to witness historical events firsthand, or even just relive a fond memory, is an incredibly tantalizing one. But what's truly amazing is that some people claim to have actually experienced time slips, and their stories are pretty mind-blowing. Despite the intrigue surrounding time slips, there are many people who remain skeptical about the phenomenon, and it's easy to see why. After all, we're talking about a concept that seems to defy the fundamental laws of physics and our understanding of time itself. Many experts argue that time slips can be explained away by other factors, such as misperception, hallucinations, or even just plain old-fashioned imagination. And to be fair, it's hard to prove that time slips are real when we can't even agree on what constitutes a time slip in the first place. Skepticism aside, the sheer number of reported time slip incidents is still pretty staggering. From people claiming to have seen ghostly apparitions of events that happened decades ago, to others who insist they've traveled to the future and back again, the stories are endless. And while it's easy to dismiss them as mere fabrications, it's hard to shake the feeling that there might be something more to it. I mean, what if our perception of time is just that, a perception? What if there are ways to manipulate or bend time that we just haven't figured out yet? One of the most compelling arguments against time slips is the lack of concrete evidence. After all, if people were really experiencing time slips, wouldn't we have some kind of proof by now? But the thing is, there are some truly bizarre cases out there that are hard to explain away. Take, for example, the case of the missing time couple, who claim to have lost hours of time while driving through a particularly remote stretch of road. Or the countless reports of people experiencing temporal echoes, where they relive the same event over and over again. Are these just coincidences, or is something more going on? But even with all these stories and theories floating around, there's one case that really takes the cake. A case that's so compelling, so bizarre, that it's hard not to wonder if time slips are really real after all. It's the story of a woman who claimed to have traveled back in time to the 1950s, where she met her own grandmother, 20 years before she was even born. The details of the story are still shrouded in mystery, but the implications are mind-blowing. Could this be the proof we've been looking for? So what do we take away from all of this? That time slips are real? That they're just a product of our overactive imaginations? The truth is, we may never know for sure. But one thing's for certain, the concept of time slips is one that continues to captivate and inspire us, challenging our understanding of time and space in ways we never thought possible. Thanks for joining me on this journey into the wild world of time slips. If you've had any experiences with time slips yourself, be sure to share them in the comments below. And if you're new here, consider subscribing for more videos on the strange and unknown.